Hey Steelers Nation, it's Joe Rocky with the Pittsburgh Syndicate, and I'm breaking down today's episode of how the Pittsburgh Steelers can beat the San Francisco 49ers. I've always felt it's important to see a clear pathway for how victory can be achieved, and I think it's a great way to know before you watch a game, and that's why I love doing these episodes. What's something I've always cared about. So when we look at the San Francisco 49ers, they are by far the best or second best team in a horrendous conference. The best quarterback they played last year was Jalen Hurts, and the second best one was Dak Prescott. Our division has better versions of both of those players in Lamar and Burrow particularly. When Kenny Pickett hits the field to play the San Francisco 49ers, he will be better than every quarterback except for two that the Niners played last year, which has given the 49ers this aura and this magnificence that they are the greatest thing since sliced bread in terms of their defense. And the reality is they aren't. They are a defense that has not played talent against them. And as a result, they have gotten into a spot where they feel they can dictate and press their will against anyone. And the key to all of that is Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa to them is a lot like TJ Watt. When Bosa does not play for the Niners, they have 5 wins and 10 losses. That is a big problem. When Nick Bosa was not on the field for his routine, just get a breath on the sideline plays, the San Francisco 49ers had a bottom 3 pass rush rating. And the reason this matters is for the second year in a row now, which means this is by conscious design, the San Francisco 49ers are the worst defense when a quarterback throws the ball 15 yards or further downfield against them. They are incredibly susceptible to downfield plays, and that counts the Steelers defense that's still getting torched by the Bills from last year. That's how much worse the Niners defense is. Problem, no one ever takes it to them and makes them force the ball to cover downfield because everyone's afraid of getting sacked. The same way that people would be against TJ when he was in his prime 2 years ago. So how do you beat the Niners first and foremost? You protect and you push it downfield. It might be a little bit easier without Bosa, but even if Bosa is here, you trust in Moore to cover the edge, which he was a better pass protector last year than Steelers give him credit for. At the end of the day, pushing this ball downfield, attacking the center of the field with Friermuth, and if we get some Austin crazy over the top, this can be a team that literally can get ripped apart and no one will understand why. But the reality is this entire San Francisco 49ers defense is built to stop the first 5 yards of attack. They're built to stop the run against them and to stop quick little screen passes, and that's what they're really good at. And if the Steelers want to try to do end arounds, wide receiver screens, we will fail. It will not work against them. That is my prediction of this game. My other prediction is that Kenny Pickett is going to rip them apart. And when we look back at this, people are like, this was the debut party of the Kenny Pickett career. That's my prediction for this game. Kenny is going to rip this thing apart. Now, when we go to the defense, there is a lot of moving parts that I have some massive ideas about what we're going to do here as far as my prediction. The first is when we look at the Niners overall, it's all about Kittle. Everyone thinks it's about Debo or McCaffrey. It's really about Kittle. Because if Kittle doesn't play, their yards after the catch on average drops by about 30%, which means they're not getting the first downs. They're not converting as much as possible. And Purdy, by his nature, is not an accurate quarterback. He needs those extra yards after the catch because they don't throw the ball very far down with him. Secondarily, he's not a quick processor, he's not accurate, and he's a little bit of a gunslinger who doesn't care if he has turnovers. When you throw pressure in the mix, it doesn't work out. That's the other thing. The Niners have the best left tackle in the NFL. The other 4, they're less than just a dude. Like none of their other 4, with the exception of their starting left tackle, would start for the Steelers, and maybe they wouldn't even make the team, but that's a debate. The point is they would not start for us. And when we look at what this defensive line can bring, assuming Highsmith essentially gets whitewashed out of the game, which for how much depth we have, unfortunately that might be acceptable. TJ and Cam should have a wrecking ball. And I predict that each of them will get at least 1 sack today. And I think that there's a very good chance we're going to get a highlight level sack. Like one of these ones like, ooh, TJ just killed you. That's my prediction for what we're going to do on the defense. I do expect that we're going to get at least 2 turnovers created from Purdy. And again, he hasn't been practicing with the team. He's not a good quarterback to start with. And when we look at this all said and done, I think there's a very, very real chance that this game isn't just the Steelers win. This is a comfortable Steelers win and a coming out party. So Steelers Nation, you just heard my takes about my predictions about what are going to happen in this week 1 matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. I certainly want to hear your opinions, your thoughts about how this is going to go. I look forward to seeing you with our game recap early next week. For more on the Niners, check out the playlist in the top left. For gambling fans, check out my channel Local Football Flavor in the bottom left.